Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, tankers of all ages, Sir Harry here again with another episode of Fast Tracks, the series where I feature a quick battle in a tank I really like, and I managed to get an okay result in spite of myself. And yeah, today I'm in the Panzer 38T, the German Tier 3 light tank, technically the Czechoslovakian Tier 3 light tank, of course. And for the really keen-eyed among you, you may notice something a little different. Yeah, I figured out how to put skins on tanks. In this case, I'm replicating the historical markings of a Panzer 38T that would have fought with the 7th Panzer Division, commanded by General Erwin Rommel, later Field Marshal Rommel, and during the invasion of France, 7th Panzer broke out from the Meuse River bridgehead, drove to the Channel coast, cut off the British Expeditionary Force, forcing the evacuation at Dunkirk and cutting them off, of course, from the rest of the Allied armies defending France. So it's kind of an easy process, bit of Photoshop, there's a plugin you get and you modify what are called DDS files, and it's kind of fun, and I especially like the fact that you can replicate historical tanks and tanks that would have fought in real battles. I played around with a few more, and maybe we'll get some replays up of those. So as you can see, we're in a Tier 5 battle on Redshire. I'm in a Tier 3 light tank, so yeah, I'm not going to be duking it out with anybody. I'm just going to be scouting and spotting to start with. And we're at the north spawn. Now you see we both have 3 Tier 5 heavy tanks on both teams, and you pretty much guaranteed on this map, especially at Tier 5, they're all lemmoning down to the that little defile there on the eastern side of the map. And I'm just going to take up what I think is my favorite spotting location from the north spawn. This little row of bushes here allow you to get visibility onto that southern ridge where all of the enemy light tanks and tank destroyers usually congregate early in the battle. And you can get lights for your team, and if you have enough tanks up on that ridge to my north there, they can fill those guys full of holes, and of course the enemy won't know how they're being spotted and who's shooting them, and it can work out really well. Now in this case, as you can see, we don't have any spots early in the game, and we've only got 3 tanks on that north ridge. We've got a Sherman 3, a Chiha, and a Crusader, so they can put some hurt down on the enemy if they do show up, but they're certainly not as many as I'd like to see up there. It'd be great to have a tank destroyer or 2 up there. You can see we've got a couple of mediums just behind me. They're on the back edge of the hill there, and they're trying to think about poking over and trying to get shots at the enemy heavies. Yeah, that you can do that, I guess, but you can't stay there too long normally, especially with artillery. The enemy has a LeFh-Fh-Fh-Fh Tier 5 premium French artillery, and that thing is absolutely infuriating. Super high rate of fire. Not a lot of splash, thankfully, but it's pretty accurate, and it can tear tanks apart at this tier really, really quickly. I'm really surprised Wargaming put that back out on the market, to be honest, because it is pretty OP. So finally an enemy tank appears on the ridge. It's a Wolverine. I wait till he backs up behind the tree to reduce my chance of getting spotted. I put a shot at him. I don't know if I penned or not. We'll see. And you can see I've got our 3 friendly tanks up there on the ridge, jockeying for position to try to get shots on him. So he's disappeared now. Our M7 has driven due south right into town and started duking out with a Panzer 4D. He eventually gets taken out by the artillery. Certainly not a good play to charge that far ahead in a medium tank. I mean, it's a great fast little medium tank, but you know what? You want to be shooting, not getting shot. So that Wolverine is now teamed up with a Matilda 4, and they're pushing west of the hill. So I have no shots on them, and you can see they're really starting to tear apart my teammates there. The Crusaders killed, the Sherman 3 starting to take hits, the Chiha's up on the hill there, and maybe a little intimidated about coming down to help out. So I got to get in here and help and try to do something. And Su-76M, the Tier 3 Russian tank destroyer, spotted over in the castle. We sent nobody to the castle. You cannot ignore the castle on this map. You absolutely need forces over there, at least eyes on it, to see what's going on. And M2 appears. He's behind a tree, and he's pretty far away, so I think I'm okay to shoot at him. I put 2 auto-aim shots at him. He starts moving when he realizes he's being shot, so I deactivate auto-aim because he was moving. Of course, I missed then, and I do get the kill shot in there, so no damage taken. That was pretty good. And now our Sherman 3 is about to get killed by the Matilda 4. That's a fantastic Tier 5 Russian medium tank with a really punchy 76mm gun. I load some APCR, I come up over the hill, and I use the 10 degrees of gun depression that this light tank has. And I get 4 quick APCR shots into that Matilda 4. He's so fixated on our Sherman 3 that he doesn't notice what's happening until he's a one-shot for me. He does get a hit into me, but you know what? I've taken out a pretty dangerous Tier 5 medium tank in my little Tier 3 light tank, and you know, I've lost about 40% of my health again, but that's not terrible. Our Sherman 3, who's on really low health, decides to YOLO the Wolverine. Luckily for me, he does take a big bite out of the Wolverine before he gets killed, leaving him a one-shot for me, and I still have enough health to take 1 hit from the Wolverine and take him out. And you can see artillery is landing all around me. Both enemy artillery seem to be really fixated on getting me out of the battle. I'm on very low health. It will not take much for them to kill me. This thing has about 15 millimeters of armor on the side and rear of the hull and only 25 on the front. And the turret's not bad, actually. It's got 50 millimeters of armor on the front, 30 on the side, 25 on the rear. That frontal turret armor is as good as the Crusader. That's a tier 5 light tank for the British. So, you know, with the 10 degrees of gun depression, the 38T is actually a pretty good little ridge fighter. At least, you know, tier 4, maybe tier 5 battles. And if you don't mind spamming a bit of APCR, you can actually do pretty well with this thing if you can stay hidden and avoid taking hits. So our enemy Covenanter now took a run at our AMX artillery there. They were way back behind that ridge to the north of the map. There was nothing I could do. And again, on this kind of low health, there's no way I wanted to get back there and intervene, because that Covenanter could take me out pretty quick. So I decided to head south. I'm going to try to get spots on the enemy artillery. But now we see the enemy KV-1S and T-34 are both spotted. They're both on very low health. Now, I've got a few APCR rounds left. I've got AP and I've got some HE, so I'm thinking, you know what? Might be able to get a shot into a flank or into the rear and take another couple of dangerous tier 5 tanks off the battlefield. Our M2 medium, who was there with that Panzer 4, is absolutely getting ripped up by those two tier 5s. And again, I don't know what he was doing over there. They really, I don't think, did a lot in the battle, and not a good spot for medium tanks on this map. So I'm looking for shots on the T-34, and then I realize, no, he's on the other side of that ridge. He's down by the river. KV-1 pops up, KV-1S, pops up very briefly and disappears. I put a blind shot, but that looked like it would have been well behind him. So the score's all tied up now. We've kind of managed to pull it back, I guess. It's just me, the Panzer 4D, and our M37 against two enemy artillery and the KV-1S. I think artillery's probably going to have to kill that KV-1S, because even with APCR, unless I get a really lucky shot, I'm not sure I'll be able to kill him. There's a LeFh-Fh-Fh-Fh. He's on about half health. He's making a dash for the little village there, it looks like. He's going to be in amongst those houses. I put a couple of blind shots at him, but no kill message pops up, so I know I didn't get him. And there now our Panzer 4D is getting torn apart. The T-34 is absolutely, yeah, there we go, taking him out. I put two AP shots at the T-34, but then our artillery, M37, gets him. And that M37 actually had an awesome game. His name's Brandon81. He had a really good game. He and I actually, basically, as you can see, are the only two tanks left against three enemies. And I'm in a tier 3, so, you know, between the two of us, we actually do manage to pull it off and have a great game. So the Vespa appears. Again, he's very dangerous. I mean, he's got a great little gun, and I don't want to be hit by him again on the low hit points I'm on. 3 shots, he's dead. With a lucky roll, I might have been able to take him out in 2, but I don't know if I got spotted or not, but I back off anyway, because, again, I can't take a hit from anything right now. KV-1 pops up and then disappears really quickly, and there's a LeFh-Fh-Fh again. And again, he's in amongst those houses in that village. I'm trying to see if I can get his front or his back or something sticking out around a corner, but no luck. I pull forward to the trees a little more, and again a bit more, just trying to get a spot on him. And even if I don't get a shot, if I can catch a glimpse of him, maybe our artillery can get a lucky shot and take him out. So camnet and binos activate. Oh, there's the KV-1S. I've got AP loaded. We'll take a shot, and no, I track him. Hey, that's lucky. Okay, I'll take that. He's locked in place for artillery. I call for fire, and I start putting AP at him. Nothing happens. I put high explosive at him. Nothing happens. Our artillery splashes him. I think they retract him, so he's stuck there for a few minutes. And I back off, though, because you know what? He probably saw, yeah, there we go. There goes the shot over my head. And so I am spotted. I come up to try to get a shot at the French artillery there. I stick around a little too long. And you know what? I'm auto-aiming. That's a real mistake with this thing, especially if you're in a low-tier tank. Yeah, there you go. He puts a shot at me and misses me. Luckily, that thing has a relatively flat trajectory, so he couldn't loop the shot up over the hill. I think about heading back up there, and that's a really bad idea with that artillery looking at me. I was using auto-aim. Big mistake with that tank. It's got a French heavy B1 hull, and using auto-aim, you're aiming right at center of mass. And even with APCR, I'm going to have trouble penetrating him with this gun. So I come up over the hill. I relocate, hoping he won't know where I am. I've drop spotted, but oh, he's pointed right at me. Go for the gun shield. Can we get him? Yeah, there we go. That's it, last kill. Our M37 took out the KV-1S, so the two of us basically managed to lock things down at the end all by ourselves. So now the battle results: ace tanker, tier 3 to tier 5 battle. That's always fun. If you do a lot of damage, you get a good shot at getting that ace. 710 damage, 831 base XP, and you can see Brandon81 there in the M37 had a good battle as well with 3 kills. 31 shots fired, 24 hit, 15 penetrated. I probably need to carry a little more APCR, and even though I did fire some, you see I still made a 325 credit profit. So that's the Panzer 38T. I'm going to upset some Panzer 1C drivers. I think this is my favorite tier 3 light tank. Great all-round tank, a little bit of armor, pretty good mobility, a really nice fast-firing punchy gun, just a great package all around. And again, I get to dress it up and take it out and look like something that actually fought in the Battle of France in 1940, so that's just a bonus. Is there a tank you'd like to see a Fast Tracks video of? Let me know in the comments. Please consider clicking like if you liked what you saw and subscribing. This is Sir Harry. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.